Hi everyone, this is LAR Games, and today I'm playing some more Genshin Impact. And as has been the trend for the past couple of episodes, I'm doing all of the character quests. And next one is... Oh god damn it, man, these modern controllers really suck. And press back, and it goes forward because of the way these thumbsticks work. Look at that. Terrible. Anyway, today we are doing Cyno. Then after that is finally Nilu, which I am looking forward to. Um, and then we can start the Archon quest. Unless you guys really want me to finish the Aranara stuff before then. I've heard that you kind of do need to do that for the most effective experience. But for now, let's start with Cyno. Here we go. And coincidentally, I'm right where I need to be. Wasn't really planned, but yeah. This is the second time I've been to the academia inside.
What should I do now? If only Cyno was still around.
Wonder what my reason for just coming in here was.
Excuse us. Has something happened?
Oh, I appreciate the concern, but who are you?
I am the Traveler.
Ah, friends of Cyno. Well, I suppose it's not a secret or anything. Since you two are interested, I'll just lay it out for you. My name is Nabil. I'm a Matra in the academia. A case involving the smuggling of canned knowledge has come to our attention recently, but unfortunately, we don't have the people to handle it at the moment.
I wonder if this is relevant to my experiences.
Huh? You mean the academia is short on Matra right now?
Well, not exactly. I suppose the main problem is that the case suddenly came up after General Mahamatra Cyno left to go somewhere. It would be a real headache for us to tackle the case ourselves. Given the large scope of the issue, we talked things over internally and decided that we should find further assistance from outside the Matra. If you two have some time, would you lend us your strength?
I have no reason to help, but sure.
Alright, since you asked so nicely, we'll help.
Zero reason to, but you know.
Yes, large amounts of canned knowledge from unknown origins have been appearing on the market recently. We suspect there's a secret route being used to move the capsules. According to some research, using large amounts of canned knowledge could lead to some serious consequences. And unfortunately, most people have yet to realize that. Rumors also have it that some particularly dangerous canned knowledge has made its way into the market. Regardless of whether the rumors are true or not, this case calls for urgent action.
We could always talk to Dory about this. I do have plenty of more to go around.
According to our current leads, it's highly likely that there are dealers selling canned knowledge outside the city, even as we speak. If you two could, please help us investigate the area.
You can count on us. Let's go.
I'm not really sure why we're helping. Hey, ladies. Love. Ah. Oh no, not at all. A chest. I saw him there in the distance, investigating something.
Huh? It's Cyno. What are you doing here?
You could still see the torchlight of the hilly churl.
Ah, it's you two. I knew I sensed a familiar presence. I'm currently in the middle of an investigation here. We'll have to chat some other time. There's been a recent case of canned knowledge smuggling. It seems that the smugglers are following an elaborate and dangerous scheme. I just happened to acquire some intel which led me here.
Hey, what do you know? We're also here to investigate that.
What a coinky dink.
I see. Well, the situation might be more problematic than you anticipated. Long story short, I was able to learn of the secret location where the canned knowledge is being sold.
Whoa, that sounds pretty complicated. But having Cyno around will definitely make things easier. All right, let's go round up those bad guys.
But there is something to be solved here. Wait. Oh, there it
Someone
is.
needs assistance.
Oh, that thing. Right, okay. I recently figured out how to do this. I wish Hu Tao's thing lasted longer. Let's plan out a route. Here's one, and is that the last one? It is not, so I just wasted that. Oh, hurry up! I did it.
If we bury it, maybe it'll spring back to life.
If only that was how it worked.
Huh?
I feel a lot of Sealies have gone in here.
Oh, what a cute treasure coffin.
Is this all you got? Seems even less than last time.
What difference does it make? If you see something you like, buy it. If not, then keep walking.
They've been cracking down on us lately, so we don't have much on hand. If you see something that catches your eye, then now's your chance. There's no...
Nope.
What does the Academia think they're doing? Alright, I'll take these here. Let me see what else you have.
Good thing Paimon is so inconspicuous, they'll never notice us.
I don't see any real gems in this batch. It's all pretty ordinary stuff. Whatever, how much do I owe you?
150K. Show us the Mora, and you'll get the goods.
It's not really making much eye contact.
Put the Mora down and your hands up.
It's Cyno! When's he ever gonna let up?
Hey, forget the goods. Let's split.
I don't think you could outrun him.
But don't forget the Mora!
Taking his time. Don't worry, he's almost done. There's quite a bit in there. He's gonna get off. Okay.
Done! Not so fast! You can't escape with Paimon on the case!
You were slightly too slow.
What is this? He's got backup now? Doesn't everyone say Cyno works alone? Ugh, I don't like the looks of this. Either way, it's gonna be a tough fight. Any ideas?
It's over. It's not like we're making a big cut anyway. I'm not losing my life here.
Huh? Did they really just give up like that?
Just like the others I've caught. They're not deep in the circle, just dealers at the bottom of the chain. All right. I have one question and one question only. Where did you get this canned knowledge?
The pickup location is different every time. The boss tells us where it's gonna be and that's it. We don't get a say in it. He sends someone every 5 days to bring us the goods.
And when is the next batch coming?
I don't know.
He's telling the truth. Honest. Normally, we should have received a shipment 3 days ago, but we didn't get anything. The stock we have right now is from 8 days ago, which is why there isn't much left.
I know exactly why they didn't receive their last batch. 3 days ago is exactly when I started my investigation. I suspect who's ever running this whole thing knew that I was coming. So they cut all contact with these dealers.
He has a pretty big reputation at this point.
When you were trying to escape, you said something about me working alone. Where did you hear that from?
Are you kidding? We've known your name since day one in this business. The boss warned us to watch out and even gave us info about you. But here we are. I guess we never stood a chance.
They already knew all about me and were trying to avoid being detected from the very beginning. These small fries are the only ones they leave out in the open. And no matter how many we catch, it won't further our investigation. If only we had another lead. Like a merchant who sells large amounts of canned knowledge.
Huh? Oh, you mean someone like you?
Dora Nothing. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know who Dora Nothing is. We just made it up.
Do you have a potential suspect? You'd better bring them to me for judgment.
No, I like her.
Whoa! Judgment?
That's right. I won't turn a blind eye on any dangerous suspect.
Does Dory have a hangout quest? Because that would be pretty... Oh, man, I need to do all the hangout quests still.
Oh! Sounds like we shouldn't ever let Cyno meet Dory.
Yeah, let's protect her.
I see. Anyway, I'll think of a way to deal with these two and then continue gathering information.
My charm, it works every time.
If you manage to learn anything, you can find me a Caravan Rebot.
Good thing he doesn't have super fidelity earlobes. Wait, but that's not what I meant. Ear canals, I guess. And by fidelity, I mean sensitive. He's not a machine,
And as for you,
as far as I
I
know.
don't ever want to catch you buying canned knowledge again. If you possess any unused knowledge capsules, then you should submit them to the authorities immediately.
Well, they got let off easy.
Okay, I got it. Just keep your nose out of my business.
You shouldn't really be provoking him in this situation. I feel it's a good way to get your head cut off. I'm sure he'll do it, too.
Hey! What's with the attitude, mister?
What, you got a problem with that too? Listen, buying canned knowledge is a deal between two people. The buyer and the seller. We don't need people like you butting in on our business here.
It doesn't matter what you need or don't need. If it's illegal, then of course he has every right to.
think about it. If the academia is hoarding something as convenient and useful like canned knowledge, then they must have been planning only to use it for themselves. Am I right?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just that you're going against the law, and he's law enforcement, essentially. Regardless of whether the law is moral or immoral, you're still breaking it.
The academia has clearly published the potential dangers of canned knowledge. I don't like having to repeat things. And besides, I'm sure you wouldn't listen anyway.
In this situation, I do think, like, the distribution... Well, not really the distribution, but the proliferation of illegal substances, you could say, since they're so uncontrolled, they're very dangerous. The solution would be to make them legal and safe. Only the good canned knowledge should be sold that's been pre-approved by a party which can also be itself regulated by something else. So no self-regulation stuff. That's bad.
I just hope you understand that your actions are what fuels the smuggling of canned knowledge. If I ever catch you again, I will personally see to it that you are punished. All right, Traveler. I need to go now.
Ha! You think you can scare me?
Do you really want to die?
Traveler, why
Yes!
don't we go talk to Dory? She's got loads of connections and might be able to tell us something about all this.
I really want to talk to Dory more. I don't know, there's just something about her that makes me want to interact with her more.
If Paimon remembers correctly, she's usually at the Palace of Alcazar's. Let's go!
That's a word. Alcazar's Array. Dang. But yeah, I remember there was like this whole song and dance just to be able to meet her, but like if that's just her regular meeting space, and she just always shows up there, I don't feel that'd be much of a secret. You're just finding a regular spot. And Dory isn't exactly inconspicuous either, like Paimon. Wait, what? I thought it was here. So she doesn't regularly go here. It was just that one? Okay, I take back what I said then. I wonder how Paimon knows that though. Wait, what? When was this established? Hold on. Yeah, she doesn't have one, so there's no information that I missed in terms of that. Huh. I've never actually been to this place. This will be the first time. I've passed by it a couple of times. Ooh.
Leave my space!
Ooh, are those paradisas? Please be paradisas. Yes! I've been needing some more of those. Let us mark it here. Is there anything down here? Ooh, there is. Hold on. I need some of those too. What if the plural lotus is lotus? Oh, there she is.
Where did I put the delivery chip?
More of them! Oh, nice! Okay, so this is a second place where they grow decently. Oh, yeah. Anilu is a character that I've been thinking about adding in, or, you know, basing a party off of. So this is great. These are some interesting plants over here. Oh. Oh, two more. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Actually, how much do I need for... Nilu? Oh, perfect. I'm still gonna need quite a bit more. Okay, how many? I need 3 of these, and a couple of these. Thankfully, I have everything else.
When I don't have much to keep me occupied, old thought patterns start to creep back in, and as soon as I start talking about it...
Sorry, you're a bit depressing right now, Kale.
I see, I see. So that's the latest scoop. Good thing you didn't rat me out. Otherwise, who knows where I'd have to be hiding to avoid attention.
I really, really don't think that Dory's animations fit her personality. At least not the generic ones they use. Like this. This is a really cute animation, but I don't think cute fits her. I feel like she's more like smug and confident. It's the same thing with her run. They just use the standard lolly run, but like I feel like they shouldn't use that. They should be more unique with that. But she's not a 5-star, so I guess it makes sense they wouldn't put that much effort into her. But still, like her personality doesn't really fit with these.
No idea. Sorry. I've already cashed out of the canned knowledge business.
Well then, you already made some money, I guess.
Huh? You mean you stopped selling it? That's right. With so much canned knowledge flooding the market, it was becoming impossible to fetch decent prices anymore. Besides, it seems that group of smugglers has practically taken over the market. It's a little rule of mine to never fight for a share of someone else's market. If I'm gonna make Mora, it's gonna be the lion's share. Plus, with regulations getting as tight as they are now, I figured I might as well just hang it up.
For
Sounds like we came all this way for nothing.
for a black market merchant, she's not exactly very black.
Well, not completely. Granted, I don't know who's behind all the smuggling activity, but since you didn't sell me out, I'll let you in on what I do know. After all, those smugglers have really crossed the line, butting their way into the market like that. I hope their luck runs out soon so that I can take over. I mean, so that the industry can become more fairly regulated.
Hey, you just want to make more business for yourself.
I mean, that's not surprising.
Don't underestimate its value. Think about it. You can gain all sorts of knowledge while bypassing the troublesome process of studying. Naturally, that makes it a product worth a high price. Of course, not everyone needs that kind of knowledge, but in a market as big as Sumeru, there is plenty of demand. Plus, the cost of production is relatively low, so even if dealers have to cover transportation costs, there's still an enormous profit to be made.
Then why does the academia prohibit selling canned knowledge?
Being able to gain complex knowledge and become a scholar with the snap of your fingers does sound like a dream, doesn't it? But everything in the world comes at a price, right? Gaining knowledge is a complicated process. It requires learning, thinking, and practice. Even when it comes to my own business, I have to go through a lot of preparation before I put anything out for sale. But with canned knowledge, one may simply skip all the hassle and get whatever they need to know immediately. That inherently leads to at least two potential problems.
I don't think I have Dory yet, but I still want her. I think she comes free soon, so that's not that big of a problem, though.
First, you'll accept the knowledge as factual without a second thought, and you'll find it very hard to forget. This means that if the knowledge is flawed, then it'll be very difficult to correct.
So it's more like, instead of actually learning something, it like hardwires it into your brain. That's a little concerning.
And second, excess use of knowledge capsules over an extended time diminishes your ability to think. You'll end up becoming like a library that can only store knowledge.
That's also concerning.
Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Traveler, you used canned knowledge before. Did you feel any negative effects?
Of course, using it sparingly is not an issue, which is exactly why I used to sell it. It's just like how medicine can be used to cure diseases, but can also do harm when overused. It all comes down to balancing the right amount. Anyway, back to the point. There'll be consequences if the sale of canned knowledge by those smugglers is left unchecked. And what's worse, you're playing right into their hands by focusing only on the canned knowledge that's made its way into the market. As far as I know, their real purpose is to distribute information about the Court of Desolation. That's where the real business opportunity is.
The court of what now?
The Court of Desolation? What's that?
A rumor has it that it's a site of ruins from the age of King Deshret. It's said that with the treasures inside, one can see beyond life and death. But any research of the ruins is strictly banned by the academia.
I always find it really funny that, like, Cyno is so, like, desert-themed, yet he's part of the academia for some reason. It's a little weird.
Word on the street is that there'll be an auction taking place in the desert. They're auctioning rare canned knowledge, some of which is related to the Court of Desolation. Once I heard about the auction, I began to suspect that all the canned knowledge popping up on the market is just a diversion. I'd wager that their real target is the Court of Desolation.
There's a lot of very useful information.
Because studying those ruins is not just a simple matter. It requires knowledge spanning several fields. So, if they're aiming to quickly assemble a research team, canned knowledge would be the best solution. As for the auction, chances are they're trying to attract and scout out anyone with interest or expertise on the subject. On the other hand, no one can say for sure that they will ever succeed in finding the Court of Desolation. So, they might as well just make a fortune while they're at it by hyping up the related canned knowledge at the auction.
Sounds to Paimon like we better head to the desert and see the auction. Who knows, we might find some leads there.
That's right. And now that I've shared all that valuable info with you, it's time to introduce our limited edition desert travel kit. It comes complete with a map straight to the auction location.
Of course. Yeah, I did.
As I said, I also have to make preparations before I sell things, right? Now, let me consider how much I should sell this for. I've got it! 500,000 mora per kit! That's quite the bargain. We'll even offer a 50% discount for little Paimon's travel kit. Only 250,000 mora.
Well, not like I can complain too much, since that's pretty much nothing for me.
What? That's super expensive!
No need to worry, little one. Cyno's the one heading this investigation, isn't he? I'll be sure to bill all the expenses to him.
I like how she calls Paimon Little One. I don't think she gets to use that very often.
All you'll need to do is tell him to go to the Merchants Guild and pay the bill once the mission is completed. Just, be sure to not send him directly here, though, okay? That would leave me completely in the open. I'm sure the former General Mahamatra of the Academia would never leave any debt unpaid. Oh, the Mora. I can see it already. Loads of shiny Mora coming Dory's way.
Okay, this time it does fit. I'm not sure, but like, are the character models becoming more detailed? Because like, if you look at her clothes and stuff, there's like zero blur. The textures are really well done. But if you look like on the Traveler, close up, it's a lot easier to see the blur. Huh. Wonder if they'll ever update the textures in that case.
We'd better get going. If Dory keeps at it, we'll be out of Mora.
I wonder what her Mora goal is. Like, she can't just be expecting to have all the Mora in the world. That just doesn't make sense. And it conflicts with Ningguang's goal as well, so they'll have to clash eventually.
Cyno! We got news for you. What the smugglers are really after is a chance to research the Court of Desolation. They are hosting an auction in the desert to sell canned knowledge about those ruins.
Considering he's already here, I feel like he probably already knew some of this.
The Court of Desolation.
Never mind, I gave him too much credit.
I won't ask how you came by this intel. But is it reliable?
We also heard that the Court of Desolation contains treasures from the time of King Deshret. Is that true?
Partially. It was a secret place built by a dark sect from the age of King Deshret. The ruins do contain treasures, but the place is also rife with unknown dangers. According to past research, one must forfeit their life as the price of entering. They are not some ordinary ruins, so the Academia has strictly prohibited any related research.
They prohibit a lot of things.
However, if they are using the canned knowledge as a way to move information and recruit researchers, then I suppose your conclusion does hold some validity. Less in recent years, but there are always those who attempt to do so, both inside and outside the Academia. After all, legends claim that whoever obtains the treasures inside can see beyond life and death, or even resurrect the dead.
What does seeing beyond life and death mean?
Death is often the greatest grievance for many people. Though they're fully aware that the chance of these rumors being true are slim, they hold tight to such fantasies and pursue them regardless. That's why some continue to research it, regardless of it being a restricted subject. Do you know where the auction is taking place? Good. We'll go investigate.
Huh? People tailing us?
That's right.
I'm not
Let's
surprised.
begin to leave town and see what happens. Don't worry. I'll make short work of them.
I can do that too.
That's Cyno for you. But we can lend a hand too, you know.
Well, you can't really speak for yourself, can you, Paimon? Until I get you a sword. Put you on the front lines. Haven't been to the desert in a while. Better not make me talk to Cadence, because that would mess some things up. What? That's frustrating. I meant Candace, not Cadence.
Hold it right there. Heading to the desert, are we? I would think twice if I were you.
Nah, it's cool, I live here.
Who are you?
That doesn't matter. All you need to know is that someone wishes to inform you that it's not too late to turn back. You must be Cyno. I've heard a lot about you. You've got quite a reputation. But this time you're in over your head. Unless you turn around right now, I'm afraid that even you won't return unscathed.
But is he over his two heads? Because he has also a little fox head on there.
And as for you two, why bother sticking your noses in trouble that doesn't even concern you?
Nah, the quest. You know, got a quest. How to do it.
That's right. We won't just sit back and do nothing.
Ha! Have you really thought it through? You're not just doing this for recognition, are you, Cyno? My employer said that he's willing to compromise as long as you just walk away. He could, for example, reduce the amount of canned knowledge on the market. I'm sure that would help your investigation appear to be successful enough. On top of that, he's willing to give you a cut of the profit. So you see, you get both Mora and a boost to your reputation. I can't think of a reason why you would pass that up.
Well, the only reason he would pass that up is if he doesn't care about either of those things. And that's, what's gonna happen.
Is that so? Well, I can't think of a reason why I'd accept. I've heard enough. Get out of my way.
Sorry, no can do. We're getting paid to ensure you disappear. Since you won't turn back willingly, then we're gonna have to make you go back.
Clearly, he doesn't really listen to the reputation he has. Oh,
New punching bag.
Just like we rehearsed. Delve into destiny.
As you wish, main for life.
Nowhere to run!
You are not welcome here.
wait.
Through me, justice is served. Their penance is due. You want this? You stand condemned.
How regret.
This doesn't change anything. You're in over your head, Cyno. There will be others coming for you. You'll regret it.
You can see the dynamic sand deformation on Cyno's feet.
Let's get out of here.
No need. Even if we apprehend them, there'll be little information to gain. Besides, it might also be a trap.
You know, when you're as strong as I am, it's fine just walking into traps, because you know you're going to get out of them anyway.
I apologize for bringing you into this dangerous mess. Just being associated with me will inevitably cause you to become targets as well. You should be careful from now on. Sleep with one eye open.
Wait, hold on. There's no way anyone could sleep without closing their eyes. Right?
Well,
You'd be surprised. Anyway, just be careful. Mercenaries are never quick to forget.
or forgive.
In their line of work, even a single failure is bad for reputation. They may even stay hidden in some dark corner for a very long time, waiting for the right moment to ambush you. They'll do anything to keep their prestige intact. Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Flashback?
I was carrying out a mission with one of my superiors. I didn't have much experience at the time, and I let my guard down after we had closed the case. We ended up being attacked by the remainder of the mercenaries. My superior was injured while protecting me, and we struggled to gain control of the situation. I've become more vigilant ever since.
Ooh, who could have seen that coming?
He survived with a fractured wrist. It took 2 months for him to recover. But luckily, there weren't any further complications. His name is Taj Radkani, a very well-respected Matra. You'll have the chance to meet him someday. Anyway, our mission will be dangerous.
Don't worry, Paimon will stay alert. We'll see danger coming a mile away.
Very sticky.
Good. Don't worry. It won't be long till we're at the bottom of this. And once this is all over, I'll sweep away any other hidden dangers.
I wonder where this is going to go. Because usually quests start out kind of like mundane feeling, and then they like turn really interesting sometimes. Some of this, the ground has the sand and some doesn't. That's interesting. God, I love that. Oh. Alright, haven't uncovered that one yet. What's this? Oh, a dung beetle! A dung scarab. I know someone who's very excited to get to the desert.
By royal decree.
We still have a long way to go, so you'll need to hang in there for a while longer. This is not a good place to rest anyway.
Okay. But don't you feel hot too, Cyno?
His hat has air conditioning.
Of course, but I'm accustomed to these conditions.
Care to share any tips? Paimon's about to melt away.
At least you're not touching the hot sand.
Just try to stay focused. Use your willpower to support your mind. The moment you start to give in is when you'll feel more tired. Take one step after another. Don't let your mind perceive your body's limitations.
Okay, if you say so. But where would be a more safe place to rest? Just look around. It's just sand and desert. There aren't any monsters for miles around. Whoa! Where
Yeah.
did these scorpions come from?
Watch out. Something's not right about them.
Yeah, they're like huge. Ah.
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Go! Whew. Well, Paimon really didn't expect to see those here.
See ya, Oz.
Those weren't just normal scorpions. See? There are marked numbers on their pincers. They were raised by someone. Someone doesn't want us to show up at the auction. These scorpions were sent to keep us away.
Really strange that they send walking meat towards us. Sounds like they want us to survive.
We are surrounded by desert as far as the eye can see. If we were killed out here, nobody would ever know.
This place is super dangerous. Good thing we didn't let our guard down.
Something's not right. There are no roads in the desert, so how could they know where we are? Stay still.
I don't consent. They put a tracking device on me?
Here's the answer. They must have planted this on you.
How and when?
Huh? What is it?
A miniature tracking device made by the Ksharwar. They can use this to discern your approximate location. But this device wasn't licensed for mass production. Where did they get it? Could someone from the Ksharwar also be involved?
Whoa! Paimon never knew that kind of thing even existed. Why would...
They probably planted it on the Traveler during our fight with the mercenaries earlier.
This is a really bad look for me.
It was a frantic fight. It's only natural you didn't notice the device.
Well, good thing you were able to find it, Cyno. Now...
No. Hold on to it for now. It might still be useful for us. Let's keep heading to the auction. It would be dangerous to linger here any longer.
The sand isn't as deep here. There we go.
They're back again! How many of them are there? Is this where the auction is? Yeah, not a single soul. Maybe they're on break right now or something.
We didn't waste any time getting here after we defeated those mercenaries. They shouldn't have been able to give any warning of our arrival.
Well, I mean, the tracking device. They should know if we're heading towards them. Give them enough time to leave.
But even so, they still knew we were coming. Someone here must have been watching the tracker and warned everyone to clear out.
Yeah.
Aw, what should we do now?
We searched the area. They couldn't have moved all the knowledge capsules so quickly. There might still be something left for us to find.
All right, let's take a good look around the area.
How do I know? Let's sell it back to Dory.
Did you find anything?
No, nothing in particular.
It's possible there weren't many knowledge capsules containing info about the Court of Desolation, so they carried those off. But don't worry. I have another idea. You two start heading back the way we came. I will remain hidden here.
Alright, I guess they'll think we left because of the tracking device, and then you could stay here. Because they'll think we left.
Come back and meet me here after some time has passed. I'm sure something will come up by then. They packed up in a hurry and didn't have time to carry off all their goods. They won't just leave them here. Once they think we've left the premises, they'll be back to pick up their belongings. We just need to make sure the tracker goes far enough from here to make them assume that it's safe to come back.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Okay, we'll start heading away and leave this place to you.
Yes, and don't worry. If they dare to return, I'll make sure they stay.
So edgy. Ugh.
Ugh, so tired. We've probably gone far enough now, right?
Yeah, far enough. We need to get that crystal fly over. 2 crystal flies.
Yay. Let's rest for a little while before we go back to find Cyno. It's probably about time for us to head back to the auction. Let's go. Maybe Cyno's finally found some leads.
Okay, there's one. Oh no, I'm gonna miss all of them. Yep. I slid because of the janky mechanics. The janky movement mechanics. Ugh. What's that? They're all beat up already?
Looks like Cyno caught someone.
No, just one.
So you're the bad guy behind all this, aren't ya? All right, tell Paimon everything you know.
I didn't act immediately when he showed up. Rather, I laid low and observed for a while instead. He is not the primary instigator, but he is most likely one of the more important dealers here.
Looks very unassuming.
Yes, impressive. You certainly live up to your reputation, Cyno. If I had any idea you were still around, I wouldn't have gotten so greedy.
Greedy? What do you mean by that?
Once everyone knew you were coming, all the canned knowledge dealers abandoned their goods and fled at once. Obviously, there wasn't time to pack up everything. Since all the goods were just left here unsupervised, I thought I'd use the opportunity to come back and take what I could.
You must know who's manufacturing and selling the canned knowledge, correct?
No, I'll talk. But before that, perhaps we can take the conversation elsewhere?
It's not really hot anymore. It's nighttime. Should be freezing.
If we stay here, chances are that someone will see me with you.
All right. Where do you suggest we go?
How about my home in Aru Village? It should be safe there.
Fine. Let's head out.
Listen, buddy, you better not try to trick us.
Come on now. Do you really think I'd try to pull anything under Cyno's watch? Seriously, what can I even do?
Gotta be careful not to talk to Candace. I'm already friends with her. Someday. But that day is not now. Oh wait. I accidentally selected the quest.
Dad, you're back.
Kind of cunning. Can't kill him in front of the kid.
Oh, we have guests? Hi there.
This is my daughter, Seeming. She can be a little shy of strangers. Why don't you run along now, dear? Dad needs to talk with our guests.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows Cyno in our business, but let me ask, who are you two?
Just a traveler and his emergency food.
Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
To be honest, I really didn't expect to see Cyno, the lone operator, working with any partners. When I saw the tracker start moving away, I assumed you had decided to just go back empty-handed. But even though you caught me, I'd still urge you to stop while you still can. You should abandon this investigation.
What's that in the background?
Why is that?
Everything from the manufacturing of canned knowledge to the sales and even splitting the profits. Every step of the process involves dozens, if not hundreds of people. Massive profits have brought everyone together in this business.
Interesting. Larger scale than we thought.
Everyone will try their best to defend this industry that we've worked to build. It will be a long and difficult fight, even for you, Cyno. And even if you manage to win in the end, no one will thank you. If anything, you yourself might even feel remorse. Why are you so bent on putting us out of business?
Everyone has their own reasons for what they do. I don't have to explain mine.
Oh, she's
Here's some
pouring
tea, Dad.
a drink. Okay.
And for the guests, too.
Right. I forgot to offer tea to our guests.
Ooh, I need to make some tea. It's finally cold enough to drink tea.
unfortunate. And, I should tell you that our tea tastes kind of bitter, but I put some sugar in to make it a little tastier.
That's my girl. Do we still have any sugar left? If not, I'll buy some more next time.
Sure, we had plenty of sugar. There was some sugar hidden under your bed. A little got in my nose, but it just made me really hyper.
Yes, we do. Okay, I'm gonna go have a rest now.
Didn't you say that everyone's in it for the massive profits? That sure doesn't seem to be the case for you.
Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was hoping to ask you for a favor. My daughter was born with a chronic disease, so she has a relatively weak heart and lungs. Even slightly strenuous exercise can cause her to faint and prove to be a life-threatening risk.
She really hide the cocaine better then.
That's why she never really had any friends to play with, and why she locks herself up in her room most of the time. She has to take lots of medicine, and it doesn't come cheap. As for me, I was just an average merchant. I would wake up early and travel all around to make a profit. But the Mora was still nowhere near enough. I could only watch my daughter's health deteriorate day by day. Until one day, someone reached out and showed me a way to really make a profit.
Selling canned knowledge.
NFTs.
That's right. With all the Mora I made, I could finally afford medical treatment for my daughter. Nothing made me happier than seeing her get better. There are many others like me. Smuggling canned knowledge might seem like an unforgivable crime to you, but to us, it's a means of survival. I wanted to tell you all this so that maybe you could understand and change your mind. Please, stay out of this, Cyno. Give us a way to survive.
Oh no. That means that if we prevent the sale of canned knowledge, his daughter will...
I must get to the truth. I can find someone to help treat your child, but I cannot turn a blind eye to the smuggling. These are two completely different issues.
I somehow knew you would say that. But having your word to help my daughter is enough for me. Since you insist on continuing the investigation, you should have a look around the back of my home.
Did you find any more of that white powder? I lost it. Give it back to me.
You'll find some goods I received just recently. I think everything will become clear to you once you see them.
Whoa! Look at all of this!
This isn't the back of the house, is it? I think I saw some of that in the front.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
it's the
neatly
front.
packed away and organized in boxes. To think that this is only one dealer's worth.
It's kind of giving me Tupperware Herbalife vibes.
Small producers couldn't possibly support such a large quantity of goods. Could the academia have a hand in this? But such a volume of goods wouldn't be able to slip through inspection.
Huh? Look! These seem different from the other knowledge capsules we've seen. Maybe they contain knowledge about the Court of Desolation.
You'd think ones this different would be easy to distinguish.
Yes, that would make sense. Wait, what's this? Yes, it's a Matra seal, indicating that the goods have passed Matra inspection.
Interesting.
I started to suspect that someone in the academia might be involved when I found the tracker earlier. But how they could ship so much canned knowledge out of the academia was still a mystery. The pieces have now all fallen into place. With this Matra seal, goods can leave the academia without undergoing a second inspection. No wonder they don't want me to investigate. It turns out that a Matra is behind this. Even I find it hard to believe. Could I ask you for a favor, Traveler? Since all this canned knowledge came from the academia, then it's highly likely that the knowledge regarding the Court of Desolation originated from research files stored within the academia. If we can enter the repository, we can find out who accessed these files. But, considering my current status, if I suddenly show up at the academia now, it will only draw unnecessary attention. You'll need to be the one who checks the records. I'll write a letter to Nabil, and he'll take you there.
Sure thing. Leave it to us.
I'll also keep working here in the meantime. Although our leads are all currently pointing to someone within the academia, it's obvious that they also have power outside of it. We can get more information on other dealers from Bahari. I'll stay here and make some preparations. You can come find me anytime if you uncover more info.
Guess we're going back right where we started. Oh, there's no back to this house. It goes straight into the cliff. Well, if he wanted to make his house bigger, he could just like carve into the cliff and nobody would know it's getting bigger.
Hello, we meet again. How's the investigation going? Oh, so you were able to find Cyno after all. I hope he's doing all right. I read the letter and must admit that I hadn't expected things to be so serious. Sorry. Had I known it would be so dangerous, I never would have gotten you two involved.
It was him this whole time, because he's a Matra too. That would be quite the twist.
It's alright. We wanted to help Cyno too.
I can tell that he really trusts you. The research files stored away in the restricted repository are far from ordinary. Everything there is essentially about dangerous research that's forbidden by the academia. Even I don't usually have authorization to enter. But with this letter from Cyno, it shouldn't be a problem.
It's all research on Imotos.
That's right. Granted, the academia is very supportive when it comes to research. They encourage scholars to conduct all kinds of studies. However, some forms of research have proven to be so dangerous that the Matra have to step in and put a stop to them. But some information may be retained as a record to warn later researchers. Follow me. I'll show you.
The restricted repository. Sounds kinda dangerous.
Down here.
Okay, I understand. Since Cyno is vouching for you, I suppose we can trust you. You may browse the information regarding the Court of Desolation. Ask me if you have any questions, but I'd suggest avoiding any other research files.
Those were doors?
So this is the restricted repository. I never thought I'd see the inside of it. This is a first for both you and me.
There are many who do not openly converse with others within the academia. But even so, there are very few who I feel could be trusted with a real secret. Cyno happens to be one of them. Even though he's no longer in the academia, I still trust him. And that goes for anyone he trusts as well. The files are over there. Just make it quick.
So don't take that one. Okay. Oh. Ha. Yep. We just did that one. So I assume there's a reference to another one. Hmm.
Whoa, there's a lot to read here. Have you found anything yet?
Does it?
Huh. It reminds Paimon of Cyno's former partner.
Oh. I guess I didn't realize that. So, Cyno is basically the whole, like, I work alone. Partners are not something I need because my partner died. That kind of thing, you know? All we need now is somebody to tell him, you know, you're off the force, Cyno. You two gotta work together.
His former partner. That would be Taj Radkani. But you're not far off. Mortada Radkani was Taj's only son.
What? Taj's son went to prison for researching the Court of Desolation?
Why do you sound so surprised? You're a Matra, aren't you?
It's just that they arrested him in secret, so it was never publicly known. All I knew was that Taj's son was taken to prison. It's not just me. I bet even Cyno didn't know about it.
Once you start doing secret arrests, then things start getting pretty suspicious.
No. Unfortunately, there isn't.
Huh?
He took his own life not long after he went to prison.
That's dark.
You've heard about Taj, right? I know Nabil has. Every Matra knows him. I would say he's probably pushing 50 this year, which makes him one of the most experienced Matra. He is a man of integrity and honesty, and has made countless achievements. His reputation goes back a long way now.
I'd say that he's a candidate for doing this then.
He used to be Cyno's only partner. Taj is also skilled with the polearm, so the two of them used to practice together when they weren't out on a mission.
Ah, right. I heard Cyno mention that before. But one day, Taj suddenly decided to retire from active duty and transfer to an administrative position. I wonder if it had anything to do with the Mortada incident.
Taj was already very well known by the time Mortada was born. So when Mortada came to study at the Academia, everyone had high expectations of him. He had to face a lot of pressure. Then he had an unpleasant dispute with his father, but they were eventually able to work things out. Not long after they had reconciled, Mortada was caught studying the Court of Desolation, which is in violation of Academia rules. Taj arrested his son and put him behind bars. He begged for leniency, but Taj wouldn't agree.
Dang.
Shortly after, Mortada slit his own throat
Oh
with the
my
pieces of a
God.
broken bowl. By the time Taj arrived at the scene, it was already too late. He never had a last chance to see his son.
That is a lot more intense than I would have expected.
Since then, Taj has been periodically coming to the repository. He'll hold the files from his son's research with a remorseful look on his face. I guess that's why he chose to move to administrative work.
I had no idea that happened. That must be really hard for Taj. I've never heard him mention that to anyone.
That's awful. Paimon feels terrible now. Are you okay?
Wait, don't tell me you're starting to suspect Taj now.
Right at the start.
Possible. Taj would never do that. I mean, yes, he does have a big reputation and has access to such research.
Also, he's relevant to Cyno, so, you know, the whole point of this is Cyno's quest.
But this is Taj we're talking about. He would never do anything against regulations. Never.
Well, that's what he did first, and it got his son killed, so that's a perfect motivation to go against regulations.
But if you claim that the canned knowledge was originating from the academia, then Taj is indeed a suspect, because he was the only one who could have recently gone through research files about the Court of Desolation. There are so many files about those ruins that it would be difficult to restart any research, since the 7 original researchers were put behind bars. It's hard enough just trying to make sense of these files. However, if the files were made into canned knowledge, they could be understood immediately. By doing so, one could restart the research outside the academia without anyone ever noticing.
But even so...
According to the legends, the treasures inside the Court of Desolation could allow someone to see beyond life and death. Or even bring the dead back to life, right? So maybe Taj is trying to bring Mortada back.
Yeah, that's another layer that I hadn't even thought of.
Though I don't really believe Taj would ever try to do something like that. I'm just telling you what I know. It's the job of the Matra to find the truth and track down criminals.
But you're not a Matra, though. You're a restricted repository administrator.
Do you have any questions? If not, it'd be best if you would leave now.
Yes. Where did you get that mustache? And would you consider not having it? Okay, that's it.
Paimon's kind of confused. What should we do from here?
It kind of looked like he poked Paimon's belly. Would have been funny if she made it sound like, "Woo!" You know, like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, now that I think about it, Cyno suspected that the canned knowledge was coming from within the academia, right? There's no way so many boxes could ever get through without drawing any attention. Maybe we could try asking people around the gate of the academia and see what we can find. Don't worry, Tosh. I won't let your reputation be tarnished.
Alrighty then, let's go ask around.
All right. Now, where's this door? It's a pretty big door. Ah, yes, right. It was this. This is the door. Or it could just be this. I mean, that makes a lot more sense. It does look like that door, but it said it was secret, so I assume it's here.
Excuse me. Have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
Huh. Well, yes, but isn't that pretty normal? The academia consumes so many resources each day. Everything from cooking ingredients, raw materials, even equipment for experiments. It's normal for goods to be coming in and out.
He has the voice of a guy from Mondstadt, I'm pretty sure.
Right, but we're looking for shipments with a Matra seal. Have you seen any like that?
That I'm not too sure of. I normally wouldn't notice whether the goods have any seals or not. Maybe you should ask someone else.
There's only 2 people I can ask anyway.
Excuse me. Have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
No, not that I'm aware of. Perhaps you could ask someone else?
Oh, never mind.
Excuse me. Have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
Huh? Why do you ask?
I'm just checking to ensure nothing unusual has happened.
Well, I can't say it's unusual, but I did notice something. There's a Kashar Roar researcher who's been making frequent shipments recently. When I asked him about it, he said they just contained a bunch of old worn-out machines. But he's been making a lot of shipments lately. There weren't ever so many outdated machines before.
And you didn't find that suspicious?
Well, the boxes were stamped with a Matra seal. Why should I bother?
Yeah, that's suspicious.
Of course,
It's
I did start
sus.
to wonder about the seal once, thinking that maybe they forged it or something. But you know what happened? A man named Taj came here and told me that he'd already inspected the goods personally and ordered me to leave the researcher alone. I couldn't question his word, could I?
I mean, it's pretty much confirmed at this point.
Possible. There must be some sort of mistake. There's no way Taj would ever... No, I won't believe it. Taj is an honorable man. Someone must be trying to frame him.
I mean, if he's an honorable man, the things that he's doing might have a reason in his mind to be done.
Wait, I know another Matra who works with Taj. I can ask him to let us speak with Taj.
Getting a bit desperate, buddy.
As I've already told you, I don't have any way to contact Taj. A few Eremites showed up looking for Taj yesterday, and he met with them in his office. Before I realized it, the door opened and Taj left with the group of them. But Taj didn't come to work today, so I've also started to feel a little concerned about the whole thing.
A group of Eremites? Could Taj really be the one making all the canned knowledge?
Everything is leading to that, yeah, unless you're gonna pull a twist.
No way. Taj is just like Cyno. They're considered heroes among the Matra. There is no way that he would... Fine. Looks like there's no other choice.
He has knowledge capsules everywhere in his house.
Hey, don't let it get to you just yet. We'll get to the bottom of this once and for all.
And then he has like a written confession, maybe a picture of him posing with the knowledge capsules and a recording. He's like, no, I refuse to believe it. Am I actually gonna make it? Yeah.
So, this is Taj's place. There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Not very fancy.
Well, what should we do then?
No. Wait, the door's unlocked. Did Taj leave in a hurry?
How would you notice that at a glance?
Well, anyway, we're still not sure if he's the real culprit. Probably not a good idea to go in without permission.
Don't worry, I have authorization.
You're right. Even if we apply for a warrant now, we won't be able to do anything until tomorrow at the earliest. What's this?
It's a paper full of names written on it. Oh, and a map. Nabil, can you make any sense of this?
Yes. These are the transactions between Taj and some other people. From the look of the numbers, the scale of this smuggling case is absolutely massive.
Yep, that was already established as well, so yeah, can you accept the facts now?
The whole operation involves more than 300 people, including dozens of celebrities. These are famous scholars, merchants, mercenaries. I have a feeling that Cyno might be unaware of what he's up against. There's no way anyone could face such a large organization on their own. You're right, that's just who he is. As for the map, it appears to indicate the location of the Court of Desolation. Let's take it to Cyno and let him decide how to proceed.
Guess it'll be interesting when we get there.
If Taj really has turned on his honor and committed these terrible acts, then I suspect that he might already be at the Court of Desolation as we speak. I don't want to suspect him, but I also don't know him very well. Maybe Cyno will know what to do.
What? I was under the impression that you were really close to him to respect him that much and blindly believe him as much as you did. But he's just an acquaintance.
All right, we'll give these to Cyno and see. Let's go.
I wanted to activate, not climate mode, huh? What? More Paradisas? Oh my god. Oh mein Gott. I hope I finish this soon because I am very tired right now.
Well, Cyno, what do you make of it?
Taj. It's been a while since I last saw him. From what I remember, he is a straight-laced man. Although he would resort to extreme measures from time to time, he would never do anything against his beliefs.
Well, that just means he has new beliefs.
So do you think he's the one behind all this?
I'm still not sure. I cannot imagine how devastating the incident with Mortada was for him. Nor can I deny the possibility that people can change. Whether it's out of love for his son or for other reasons. We have to see for ourselves to judge him. Or rather, the person he's become. That's right. It's clear that he had a hand in this case, yet he made no report of it. There's no doubting that. That's also why I need to see him. I must ask his reasoning and judge him myself. Time is ticking. Let's go.
Oh, we actually have to look for it? Dang it, I thought it was self-explanatory enough that we wouldn't need to actually search for it. Pretty sure that's it. Just go around the scorpions, that's fine. They're not going to notice me. Yes. I already had the perfect party prepared. Post haste.
So this is the Court of Desolation. Are there really any treasures buried here? Oh, Paimon's kind of nervous. Could it be dangerous?
Don't worry. You'll be safe with me.
Oh, hello. I really should take out my food. There we go.
Look! These walls have definitely seen better days. Was there some sort of fight here? Let's keep going and see what we can find. Whoa! Is it just Paimon? Or did that passageway just rotate? It's not gonna start moving again, is it?
Just made a hole.
Either way, we should be careful. Let me scribe. By royal decree.
You're not even dropping meat. Oh. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, so
Hopefully that's our way in.
the walls were moving, not okay. What's the point of stairs? You can't see until you get to them.
Right at us. This place gives Paimon the creeps. You go first.
It's so trippy. I did it. I solved the puzzle.
All revealed by shadows of fate, written in the stars. I summon thee.
You're wrinkling my brain, man. So he solved all these puzzles already, and they reset? Ah, that's what it looks like on top of one of those.
Taj.
Ah, Cyno. It's been some time since I've seen you last. I trust you are doing well.
Pretty nice voice.
Seeing that you've made it all the way here, you must be on the cusp of wrapping up your investigation, I presume. Even faster than I expected. Is it because you have some new partners now?
Not as high quality as Zhongli's, but not bad.
That's right. This case is nearly closed. But the most important answer still eludes me. Was it all your doing? Smuggling the canned knowledge? The research of the Court of Desolation?
Yes, it was me.
Then explain why.
That's the difficult part. Let's just say I've changed. I've become a selfish coward who only wants to pursue his own interests.
And I think those interests are something that are less selfish, or maybe they might be selfish, like, bringing his son back would be pretty selfish, but still, it's understandable.
I find that hard to believe.
Oh really? Way I see it, every person will end up like me sooner or later. When you're young, you press forward, unattached, living solely for the justice in your heart. But as you begin to age, you start to become more cautious. You know many things are wrong, but still turn a blind eye to them. I was the same. I never questioned my actions until Murtada died. I could feel the justice that I once strived to uphold slowly crumbling in my heart. I was completely dedicated to all that I did, but as I grew older, I found myself feeling alone, miserable. Can you imagine what it feels like to not have the will to live, but not be able to die?
No, but can you say, killing spree? Or, kill-tacular? I'd really appreciate it.
Murtada was sent to prison by my own hands. I set myself on this painful path. My son hated me, to the day he died, and now I must live with that pain and regret.
Yeah.
I failed him as a father. But now I have a chance to make it right. A chance to reunite with him. The Court of Desolation. Here lies the key to overcoming life and death. The power to even bring the dead back to life.
Look how he created this, like, basically entire organization on his own. Giant support structure there, but he just comes here alone anyway.
So, did you already find what you needed here?
See this door behind me? Behind it lies the treasures that I seek. I'm so close, Cyno. If only you hadn't arrived now, I could already have...
Enough conjecture. What has happened is already part of the past. You cannot bring the dead back to life. In the end, the treasures you seek are nothing but myths and legend.
Since you're so sure, why don't you just let me open the door and see then?
No. I sense danger behind that door. There will be dire consequences the moment you open it.
I beg you, as an old partner, can you let me fulfill my last wish just this once? Surely you get it by now. Doing your job without mercy will only drive people away from you. I'm the prime example.
I don't overthink things. If there is only one way for me to defend my principles, then that is the path I will take.
Seems there's no convincing you. All right then. Let's see if your polearm skills have improved at all.
Get him, Fischl.
This power is mine.
Delve into destiny.
Or Hu Tao. Let's just go with Hu Tao. Wait, where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, there you are.
Your strength.
You feel it, don't you? I'm stronger than you remember. I gained new power when I entered the Court of Desolation.
Get a skinny lady with a a burning staff beat you up really easily.
This is only a taste of it. Once I open the door behind me, this power will be complete. Even life and death will have no grip on me.
She didn't have to use her ghost on you.
Uh-oh. We have to stop this guy!
I won't let you open that door.
I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid it won't be easy to stop me now that you're injured. Or are you ready to sacrifice your life for this?
I'll do what I have to.
I still remember when we first became partners. You were always charging forward and putting your life on the line. Just like now. Even after all this time, you still haven't changed.
How much time is all this time?
You haven't changed either. You left that list of names and map in your house on purpose, didn't you? You wanted me to be able to find you here. All of this was just part of the act you were putting on. What happened just now was also part of your plan. You might have fooled those on the list, but you will not fool me. I had my suspicions from the beginning, but I couldn't be sure until we fought. If he really had changed, your fighting style wouldn't be as it was before.
Wouldn't it?
Huh? What do you mean, Cyno?
He never planned on opening the door. His true intention was...
What's happening?
Seems our time is running short. Let me make this quick then. After Mortada died, my spirit was crushed. For a long time, I was hoping this reality was just some terrible nightmare. I hoped I would just wake up and be able to see his smiling face again. That is when I was approached by someone who wished to collaborate and find the Court of Desolation
That's
together.
bad.
I did some investigation of my own and discovered they were part of a massive organization. People from every walk of life are involved. They are relentless in their search,
So he
pouring
wasn't the
countless
start.
more into secret research, even sacrificing lives in hopes that the Court of Desolation would appear.
No wonder banning the research wasn't enough. A full-scale operation was already in motion.
I'm a flesh and blood human like anyone else, so I obviously hesitated and considered it. The thought of bringing my son back tugged at my heart, but in the end, I came to my senses. I knew that I could not let myself go down that path. I suddenly came to a realization amidst my suffering. The Court of Desolation, a place that once drove people to tragedy, was still doing so even centuries later. As long as this place exists, people will
Interesting.
recklessly seek it out, just as Mortada did, generation after generation, regardless of the cost.
I guess his plans were a little different from what I thought.
Let it be buried beneath the sand forever. Once the Court of Desolation is gone, there will no longer be anyone obsessed with seeking it out.
We'd have to erase the knowledge of it. Even if it gets destroyed, people could try and, uncover it.
That's right. I acted as if I had abandoned my convictions just so that they would cooperate without raising any suspicion. But that wasn't enough. I needed someone I could trust to bring the organization to justice. To add to the problem, the organization is so powerful that they even have members working within the academia.
So, you pretended to be the one behind all this, as a test for me.
Yes. I'm sorry, but now I am assured. You haven't changed at all. You are still as you always were, fearless, and making no compromise. Anyway, this place is collapsing. You must leave now.
Wait! Aren't you leaving too? There are still loads of bad guys to catch outside!
There are? I only saw scorpions.
His fate is already sealed. There is no life left inside him. He is like a candle with no more wick to burn. You planned it all from the very beginning, didn't you? Risking being treated as a traitor to collaborate with them. Sacrificing your own life to open and destroy the Court of Desolation.
Regardless, I made a grave mistake by allowing the smuggling and the research of this place. Let this be the final judgment on myself. I was always so busy with work that I never made time to fulfill Mortada's wishes. Finding this place was his biggest wish. Since I'll be reuniting with him here, I can only hope he won't have anything more to hold against me.
Well, he's dead, so he can't.
I'll leave all those people on the list to you. Sorry for all the trouble I've caused.
There's nothing to be sorry for. We are partners. If you see Mortada, send him my greetings. Goodbye, old friend.
How much of an old friend, though? Mind putting some numbers on there? Ooh, cutscene. Gotta love those.
Dad, why are they so strict with me? I'm always the only one who gets in trouble.
Oh, I saw that in the trailer.
Leave me alone! Don't worry, I won't damage your precious reputation.
All right, Dad. Let's start over. By the way,
That's some nicely animated sand.
I found an area of research I wish to pursue. Why can't you show even a little leniency? Why?
Because we are Matra.
Dang, on-screen death, pretty much. We just saw someone be smothered alive, basically. That's a bit dark.
The Court of desolation has.
Just as Taj said,
It's still
that
there, though.
place had caused too many disasters and tragedies.
I mean, with enough shovels, you know. It's not exactly hidden either.
Being buried in quicksand is its rightful end. To them, as long as there's more to be made, they will disregard the Academia's rules, whether it's the Court of Desolation or anything else. Their only goal is to make massive profits off of dangerous research. Taj may have set them back with the Court of Desolation, but it won't be long before they continue searching for another target. That's an opportunity that I will not let them have.
We'll help too.
Thank you, but you've already done enough. Just leave the rest to me. I will bring them to justice myself. So, that's what I'm going to do. Wait for me at Caravan Rebob 4 days from now.
4? Really? Gonna make me wait 4 days? Oh, you are gonna do that. Alright. Alright, that should do it.
We meet again. Thank you so much for all your help.
Nabil, what are you doing here?
Convicts from the desert are being escorted through Caravan Rebob, so I'm here to keep an eye on things. This should be the last group of them, so I'll be heading back to the Academia once they're cleared. The last few days...
Well, I was just waiting in the cave.
But fortunately, I can say with confidence that this case is finally coming to an end. At first, the mercenary groups on the list were putting up quite a fight. They made several desperate attempts to cover up the truth. However, word is that someone crossed the desert and took out their main camp overnight.
Wonder who that was.
After that, people on the list started to put pressure on the higher-ups within the Academia. Everyone was on edge, and the case came to a standstill.
And? Then what happened?
Well, then we received word that Taj Rudkani had sacrificed himself on the case. The news really stirred up the members of our ranks. The Matra then moved together against the enemy. We cleared out the traitors from within the Academia and arrested all the researchers on the list. Some of them managed to get out of the Academia, but still failed to escape. The scattered criminals were captured all across Sumeru by the mysterious person who had defeated the mercenary groups.
Yeah, mysterious.
I even heard that someone was about to escape to Fontaine, but was still apprehended just at the border. Having more than 300 prisoners apprehended for interrogation has definitely shaken things up recently.
He did that in 4 days?
So that's the end of it. Catching everyone on the list means no more smuggling canned knowledge and no more victims.
He took out an entire organization in 4 days.
It was a lot of work, but Paimon thinks we accomplished something big.
That's right. Thanks again for your assistance. As for the mysterious person who hit the mercenary camp, that must be Cyno, right? He's the only one I can think of who could accomplish such a feat. Speaking of which, have you been in touch with Cyno these days? I think I just saw him when I was on watch nearby.
Nah, I was just standing still in a cave for 4 days.
He was walking with someone I didn't recognize, and then before I knew it, they were nowhere to be seen. If you happen to see him, please send my regards.
Sure thing, Nabil. You be careful too. Don't let any of those bad guys escape.
Don't worry about me. If anything happens, you can find me at the Academia anytime. Farewell then.
Trying to single-handedly bring 300 people to justice must feel pretty exhilarating. But I can assure you this is certainly not the best solution.
I'm aware.
Didn't know they knew each other. I mean, it makes sense. He is from the Academia. Was from the Academia.
However, I learned something unexpected during interrogation. Apparently, Someone had enticed Mortada Radkani into becoming interested in researching the Court of Desolation.
Harbinger time?
Mortada had lived in his father's shadow all his life. Naturally, he wanted to conduct research that would seem groundbreaking and significant. After Mortada died, the organization tried to use Taj's shame regarding his son to add him to their ranks, toying with others' minds, treating lives like dirt, and doing anything for their own interests. This makes me angry.
Fine, I understand. This is a type of trap I've been working on which uses plants. Here, take some just in case you need them next time. If thrown into the mud, the trap will grow rapidly and disperse a pollen that has a paralyzing effect. I don't have much use for the traps these days, but maybe you will and can help me collect more testing data.
Cyno! Tighnari!
We heard all of that.
Oh, so Tighnari must be who Nabil saw earlier. Are you also here to see Cyno?
That's right. Cyno asked me to collect some medicinal herbs to treat a girl named Seemine. I also dropped by just to check for any injuries. He seems to be fine physically, but he looks a little more lonely than I remember. And Cyno, relax. You don't always have to look so serious, you know? Why don't you play more Genius Invocation TCG? Kale has always been a little wary of you, and your stern expression certainly isn't helping.
Well, they're name dropping that again, so it's coming soon. I'm kind of looking forward to that, to be honest. It's going to be a permanent gameplay edition, too, from what I've heard, so this is going to be interesting.
How is Kale these days?
She's grown a bit taller, but her grades could use some improvement. She still made many mistakes on her last test, even after I had marked all the important content in the book for her. Her condition seems to be improving lately, so I plan on having her go outside more. It just so happens that I have something she can help me with.
Huh? You mean Kale is leaving Avidia Forest? What happened?
I've asked her to host some ad hoc lectures to teach the dangers of canned knowledge, as well as how to use it safely. Although we've apprehended all the criminals behind the recent smuggling case, there are many people who are still curious and seek after canned knowledge. So I decided to ask her to work on increasing knowledge and awareness on the topic. Please be sure to keep an eye on her.
Catch knowledge.
I will.
If anything else happens, the three of you can find me in the Avidia Forest. Take care.
Always with your Nvidia Forest, huh?
I've already caught those who were preparing to attack you in secret. Even if some criminals did slip through our fingers, they wouldn't know that you were involved in the case. So you can relax.
I was never really unrelaxed. Could have taken them.
But what about you, Cyno?
It's still not time for me to rest yet. Those who died have fulfilled their wishes, but those who are alive must continue pressing forward. I've been thinking about what Taj said in the Court of Desolation these last few days. His words were not empty. People do change, and no belief can completely resist the erosion of time. I just hope my own change will come slowly, so that I can press on a little further. That way, those who see me as their superior, and those who are following in my footsteps, will learn courage from my example, just as I gained courage from my own superiors, and my partner. I'll be fine. I'm also enjoying my chat with you right now, you know. There are many things I feel better about once I start to talk about them. Many people want to go to the desert to offer condolences for Taj, but I didn't share details with anyone. I'd prefer to avoid revealing the location of the Court of Desolation.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there. Just got flooded with sand, pretty much.
One day, I'll gather some flowers that grow in arid desert conditions.
God, this desert looks so good.
I was hoping you'd join me in planting them on the remains of the Court of Desolation.
This is literally one of the best deserts I've seen in video games. I think I've said that before. Alright. All done with this one.
By the way, something strange happened a few days ago. A merchant approached
Oh, yeah.
me and requested that I pay the cost of a desert travel kit. 1,250,000 mora.
I didn't even use anything like that either.
I didn't remember owing anyone mora, especially not that kind of amount. So I arrested the merchant on charges of provocation and disturbing the peace.
That's hilarious.
Do you know anything about this?
Nope. Paimon has no idea what that could be.
Well, threw that person right under the bus. I guess Dory's not going to get any money. We got that information for free. Oh, she's the one that risked it on Cyno. It was her suggestion, and if it didn't work out, it's her fault. Alright. That was Cyno's story quest. Only one more to go, then potentially the Archon quest. So, I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.